Hurry, Potty! Hit the remote! This is gonna be great! So exciting! That's it?
You know what game I really love with all my heart? Sonic Heroes. Pretty much everything about this game just screams Sonic to me. It perfectly encapsulates what the series is all about. There are small issues with it. It's slippery, it's janky, it makes you play through the same game 4 times. But there is one thing about this game that I genuinely dislike, even if it isn't technically a downside. The intro made that very clear. It's this moment during the finale where Sonic shares his power with Tails and Knuckles. Like, imagine the hype and build-up one feels here. Making it through all 4 stories, everyone banding together to take down Metal Sonic, empowering the main trio with super forms that they've used in the past, only to then be greeted by this shit. Like, if you put yourself in those shoes, do you not feel let down? These characters, who are like brothers to Sonic, and helps him every step of the way. Instead of getting to spread their beautiful wings like Sonic can, they get bubbles of piss. Seriously, they're piss bubbles. It's the same shade and everything. It pisses me off. The actual boss fight's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I can't get over the goddamn piss bubble! Listen, Tails and Knuckles are both long-standing characters, and they've been sidelined to prop up Sonic for too long. Not just them, we can put Amy in the superform cuck chair too. Cause since she's reached the main character role, she went through the same weirdly political superform workarounds that Tails and Knuckles did. From what I remember, the only real evidence against these 3 having superforms is, well, mainly the game Sonic Superstars saying they get superpowers when you get all 7 emeralds. I refuse to accept that as a source of retconning for 2 reasons. 1, Superstars doesn't know how to keep track of its own lore, let alone the whole franchise. They drop an evil dragon right at the end with no significance and like 1 cutscene's worth of build-up. If it doesn't respect our understanding, why should we respect its plot? Number 2, Trip. Why the hell does Trip, a brand new character, not only get a dedicated super form, but a form where she turns into a goddamn dragon? Meanwhile, the mainstays outside of Sonic get shafted once again. Nothing against Trip, by the way. I love playing as her, even if her moveset is like objectively better than Knuckles'. I'm just not gonna let this game tell me that Sonic's friends can't go super. Why am I so worked up about this, you ask? Honestly, I just don't think it's fair. It's mainly just Sonic and Shadow that get regarded as the top dogs of the franchise. Not to mention, Silver doesn't even have much relation to the Chaos Emerald, yet he can turn super just fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't like them, of course. They're amazing characters and they're popular for good reason. I just feel it's because they're so popular that other characters don't get to shine. There's buzz going around that Sega has a soft rule where only male hedgehogs can go super. Just every time I see these rules like that, I think about all the creativity that gets stifled by it. All the climaxes that characters other than Sonic can shine in, whisked away because they're too scared to branch out. So I'm gonna go into why Tails, Knuckles, and Amy should have fully fleshed out super forms, and what I think they can bring to the table, so they can finally stand toe-to-toe with these 3, and get the respect that they deserve. First off, we got Tails. I already mentioned how integral he is to both Sonic's character and the franchise as a whole, but he isn't exactly known for power. People say that it's due to that lack of power that he can't tap into his super form, but I call bull. This guy can construct a fake emerald so accurately that Sonic was able to use Chaos Control with it, for the first time ever no less. So it's pretty safe to say that he knows how they work. So what would a super form give him? Well, we already know from Sonic 3 and Knuckles that when he went super in that game, he was able to spread the power to some wildlife so they could fight for him. Technically this was Hyper Tails, but, you know, hyper forms are a whole different can of worms. I'm not petitioning for those. Yet. I think we could give his revitalized super form this ability, as well as another idea I had. You know how a good number of Sonic characters are the absolute best at one aspect? Sonic's the fastest, Knuckles is the strongest, Shadow's the best with Chaos Energy, and Tails is the smartest. Super forms usually amplify those traits, You see where I'm going with this? What if his new super form boosted his intelligence? And not a small boost either. I'm talking like Mr. Fantastic meets Brainiac levels of smarts here. With his speed on top of that, he could like Fortnite speed build contraptions mid-fight out of debris. Like, tell me that wouldn't be sick. People don't give Tails enough credit in terms of fighting prowess, so something like this would be huge for him. This would be the perfect way to put some respect on his name. Next up, we got my main man, Knuckles. Honestly, his omission of his super form is the most baffling of the three, since he's the one with the most experience with the emeralds. Like, this guy literally sits next to the Master Emerald all day, yet he doesn't have any Chaos abilities? Yeah, right, okay. It's funny when you consider that another argument people make on why it's only the main three Hedgehogs that can go super is due to experience with Chaos Energy. Like, yeah, that explains Tails and Amy slightly, but Knuckles has way more experience than Silver does with the emeralds. But of course, only the white boy can go super, go figure. On that topic, there's a parallel with another character I wanted to bring up, that being Piccolo from Dragon Ball. These characters get compared a lot, and for good reason I'd say. They're both stoic warriors who tend to be blunt. They both started as rivals to the protagonist before becoming allies. They both got outshined by a new rival that shares more design similarities to the protagonist. And they're both brothers. Anyway, my point here is that, like Knuckles, Piccolo spent a while behind the mainstays of the cast like Goku and Vegeta. However, that got fixed. In the movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero, just rolls right off the tongue, Piccolo tapped into a new form, which finally brought him back in line with the other heavy hitters in the cast. My point is that if Piccolo can do it, why the hell can't Knuckles? Hell, there's a Tails Tube video that hints Knuckles could potentially tap into the Master Emerald, except he just chooses not to. On that topic, I have an idea on what a new Master Emerald form could do. So we know that one of the main aspects of the Master Emerald is it can neutralize the Chaos Emeralds, right? What if Knuckles, should he reach a new form through this emerald, gained the ability to neutralize other super forms? Like, imagine he was fighting like Super Mecha Sonic or something, right? Or an evil Super Sonic, like in the Fleetway comics, and he just Dr. Manhattan their powers away. It might be a bit anticlimactic, but that's just an idea. Even in a regular super form, they should just lean in really far into his strength. I'm talking like One Punch Man levels of strength. They should let Knuckles, through sheer force of power, be able to do things like bend portals or punch his way out of a time freeze. Stuff you can't normally break out of. I feel like Sega doesn't emphasize Knuckles' strength nearly enough. He's supposed to be as strong as Sonic is fast. And if you have any idea how fast Sonic is, that should translate to some serious strength. Knuckles having a tried and true super form would help put him back on people's radars. And I think he needs this desperately. Last but not least, we got Amy. I know I said Knuckles' case is the most baffling, but upon further examination, I think it's actually Amy who's the most robbed if you think about it. The thing with her that throws a wrench into Sega's antics is that she's a hedgehog, and the only people we get to see go super, well aside from lizards, are hedgehogs. But no! They had to go and say only male hedgehogs can go super. Are you f***ing kidding me? I know that rule isn't confirmed anymore, but the fact that a rule like that was ever mentioned in any capacity is, well, it's sexist. I don't know how else to put it. There's just no good reason why Amy can't go super, so they defaulted to something ridiculous like that. Some people say it's a DNA thing or that the other three characters have special abilities that let them tap into it. Okay, well, not only has Amy been around the emeralds longer than Shadow has, but she does have inherent abilities. She has clairvoyance and other abilities thanks to her tarot cards. She's often shown to have some kind of love magic, and in 06, she could even turn invisible. Did they ever use that again? No. Does it still prove the fact that she's just as much of a magic rodent as the others? Yes. Like, I know Sonic fans are scared of women, but I didn't know it applied to the devs. Ugh. It just goes to show that the only way to rectify this is to let Amy don that yassified yellow she was always meant to. And I have some ideas on what that could be like. Perhaps a super form like this could bring out the potential in her magic, and let her use abilities from the tarot cards like in The Binding of Isaac, the best game ever made. Moving on to her hammer, what if she gained full control over it, being able to throw and recall it like Thor can? It's a bit on the nose, but I think that'd be sick. Since Amy is now seen as part of the main group, I'm going to stick up for her just as much as the other members of the main group. And I will ride or die by the fact that these three not having super forms is a problem in the franchise. So, you're probably wondering why I'm so worked up about this. Frankly, I'm just bothered by how much effort Sega will put in to avoid letting anyone that isn't Sonic or Shadow shine in the spotlight. Like, what even is their real beef against more super forms? Power creep? Really? What I'm asking for wouldn't even power creep anything. All I want is for other characters to be able to engage in the climactic finales that Sonic can by having super forms. That isn't making anything obsolete, it's doing the opposite. I'm not even asking for obscure characters like Mighty and Ray to get supers, even though they should. I'm asking for the three I mentioned that deserve it. It almost feels like things are getting a bit too sanitized, if that makes sense. Like, everyone's got to use those same crusty ass models they've had for over a decade now. Some of the dialogue feels like they're Office coworkers, especially with Amy. Some of the voice actors just aren't a good fit. The list goes on. And to top off all that, I can't help but feel like this franchise is missing something. I know this is considered the Renaissance era, but something is just off. Wait! I know what the problem is. The freedom from the old days is gone. Back then, it felt like anything could happen for each new game. Now we can't go a single game without a bunch of asset reuse. Granted, back then there was more room for experimentation, but with all these mandates and rules in place now, it feels like no one really gets to stretch their wings. Hell, even Sonic himself finally gets a new form after years of us asking. But in true Azuka fashion, he appears for like 3 seconds, and then it's gone. Just like that. Like, guys, if you want to keep Sonic toned down, you're gonna have to let someone else step up to his level from time to time. Someone other than Shadow. Someone has to do something. We have to do something. What could we possibly do, you're asking? Well, I'm gonna start a movement. To give this franchise the spice that it needs, I am going to restore Tails, Knuckles, and Amy so that they're finally plot relevant again, and no longer a bunch of yes men to Sonic. It'll be great. It'll be this whole big thing, and it'll definitely not flop. We will show the world that Sonic the Hedgehog is a franchise that has way more to dive into than just Sonic himself. Nothing ever happens? Nah, we're gonna make something happen. Everyone, I call upon thee. It's time we start causing a ruckus. By the time I've uploaded this video, I've made a new Twitter account. No, I'm not calling it X. Follow me there, and you'll see in a post that I've linked below, I've created a new hashtag called #TailsKnucklesAmySuper. What you must then do is post about it with that hashtag. It could be anything. Art, gameplay, discussions, mods, more videos, anything that has to do with Tails, Knuckles, or Amy, or hell, anyone using a super form. We will create a stand that'll be sure to reach Sega HQ. Our peaceful ways will spread the hype of these characters by force. We will make Sega realize that super forms are based and rodent-pilled. This was a while ago, but I heard rumors of a Sonic Heroes remake. If this takes off, we may very well see our beloved goats get the respect they deserve, and finally move past the piss bubbles.
Peace.
Hell, this could even come into play in the much more recent leaks about a potential definitive edition for Sonic Frontiers. Now before you guys go hog wild, remember, there will be no hate spreading while I'm around. Be civil and kind when posting about this. I want people to see the best in us, as we want underappreciated characters to finally share the limelight. Happy posting, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And now, more than ever, share this video, because this needs as much traction as it can get. Let's show the community what real fans can do.